Okay.
Good morning, everybody. It's Lisa Copeland. Happy Monday morning. I am so excited today to bring us our guest, Anthony and Michelle and Renee and Laura and Natalie and Janelle. Good morning. Thank you for jumping on. And Sean Weatherby, you guys never, ever disappoint. This morning's guest is one of the top probably 5 salespeople in the United States of America in the automotive industry, Mr. Frank Crinitti. Hey, Frank, how are you?
Oh, I am phenomenal. Good morning, Lisa. Excited to be on your show. Thanks
Oh,
for
well,
having
I'm
me.
just so glad to have you. You are so highly regarded. Now, I'm doing this thing again. God, if what's his name? If Ken Wall saw this right now, I'm trying to split screen us so
Okay.
everybody can see both of us at the same time. But tell me this: what is it that drives you? Now, first of all, let me back up. I want you to tell people you're in the top 5 salespeople, probably the top 3 in the United States.
Yep.
Running hard with our good friend Ali Rita. I know that.
That's my buddy. Love
I
him to
know.
death.
And
He's awesome.
I think the coolest thing is that he's your
Yeah.
biggest fan and you're his biggest
Yeah.
fan. And
100%.
I think it's just so incredible. So tell
At
everybody.
this level, you're in competition with yourself. You're not really competition with anybody else.
Okay. Frank, can somebody please write that down? At this point in your careers, at the absolute pinnacle, which is where you and Ali both sit, you guys sit
Right.
at the top of the heap. And what you're saying is we don't compete with each other. Of course, Ali sells Chevys and you sell Hondas,
Right.
but that doesn't
Yeah.
matter. You are competing with yourself for greatness. And don't you
That's
think
right.
salespeople forget that so many times? It's like you're out there trying to knock each other down.
Well, to be envious of somebody else is not, conducive to the way that I would want to do business. It would break me down mentally more than it would lift me up. So to me, it's just stay focused on what I'm doing 100% of the time, not worry about what everybody else around the world's trying to either drag me into or, get me to not focus on what's exactly in front of me. So, if you start to think about what everybody else has or what everybody else is doing, you'll lose your focus. And then that's not good for your mindset, which isn't good for your customer base, which isn't good for the outcome that you're trying to produce. So, it'll have repercussions throughout your whole life, if you worry about stuff like that.
Okay, I'm kind of proud of myself right now because I just got the split screen to work and Ken Walls did not even have to send me a text going, Lisa, I've only told you this 4,000 times. All right, well, tell everyone about you. Tell everybody where you live. You live right outside of Philadelphia. Your dealership. I mean, I want to know what makes Frank tick because, very seldom do I get to get the great ones on my show. The ones who go out there, and I love what you said, Frank. Is that you're competing with yourself. You're not competing with an industry. You're not competing with other people on the floor. You're not competing with other industry greats like our dear friend Ali Rita. You're competing with you. What drives you? So tell us about your store. Tell us where you're from, and tell us what drives you. While I drink
Don't get
coffee.
don't get me wrong. I still want to be number one. So that does drive me a little bit, but that can't be your focus, So
Right.
your focus has to be what's in front of you every single day, your plan every single day. So I'm a big goal setter. I might not necessarily write it down and carry it with me on a pad, but I know what my goals are, where I have to be, to get to them. So not just make up some goal. You got to come up with a plan, so there has to be a plan to actually be able to achieve the goal. And one of my biggest attributes is I always hit my goals, So and maybe
Okay,
a
so
couple
now
times.
I want to talk about that goal setting and that forecasting because I get hired by a lot of companies to do that, and I'm so surprised when I go in there. That's one thing that I learned in the automotive industry is that we actually did our forecast. I had to submit as a general manager. I had to submit my forecast, a yearly forecast, both from sales, service, and financial forecasts by like December 15th of the prior year, and I was expected to state a forecast the entire year. And I mean, there had to be something significant in the market for me to be allowed to go in and change my forecast. And I think that was a very good management tool. So how do you forecast? Are you forecasting monthly, yearly? How do you do it?
I do both. So I'll figure out where I was last year to figure out where I want to be this year. And I don't just look at what I want to do. I look at what I didn't do last year. So I'm going to be in everybody's face a lot more this year. I'm going to be on a lot more live stream videos, and
It's good though.
Start a business page. I don't have a business Facebook page. I've been doing everything solely from my
Frank.
my personal Facebook page. I know there's a lot of areas that I'm missing. So we're going to step our game up this year 100%.
So is it safe to say that you're gunning for our friend in Michigan?
Always, you're always gunning for greatness, and he's the pinnacle right now. He's the GOAT. So Absolutely, you're always gunning for the next level. If you're not ready, if you're not leveling up, or trying to surround yourself. So I try to surround myself with people that are leveled up in the industry. So Ali, my buddy Damien Bourdeau, he called me. He gave me some unbelievable tips. He tells me, live in the moment. Don't worry about where you're at. Don't even look at the numbers. Just go. And that's helped me out immensely, because I would always concentrate on the number. Where was I? What was I doing? I'm 5 cars behind where I need to be to hit 110 cars this month. And then, he kind of switched my focus around a little bit, and helped me out immensely just by a 15-minute phone conversation that we had. Changed my mindset.
I love the guy. I mean,
unbelievably.
Yeah, he literally called me last week to tell me something, and we had this talk. And by the time I got off the phone, I'm like, oh yeah, let's go. Yeah. So he's fantastic, and I mean, so wouldn't you say that he's probably the best coach out there for car salespeople?
Oh, he's one of the best. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of great ones out there, but he's definitely one of the best. And I'm still a little bit upset with him because his New Orleans Saints beat our Philly Eagles here. So
you and I were gonna talk football predictions, but not till the end, because right now this is just about you.
Gotcha.
Okay, so Frank, what do you do to write these goals down? Like my good friend Glenn Lundy, he came up with the Rise and Grind planner, which I think is great, because without a plan, how in the heck do you get to where you're going? But what do you do? Do you write it on paper? Do you put it in a planner? Do you put it on the walls? What do you do?
I remind myself on Facebook what my goals are all the time. So this way, they're in my face all the time. So I'll put posts up of this is where I want to be, and these are my goals, and then I write them down. So I got my personal goals. I got my Piazza Honda goals. Where I want to be. Running the business inside of business there at Piazza Honda. I got my other financial business goals, that I'm doing right now. Flipping houses and getting some rentals and a couple other business ventures that I'm pursuing. So it's always pedal to the metal. There's always more time left in the day. People say, how can you do that? You're selling this many cars and you're so busy. And I'm like, how could you not? How could you just go home and sit on the couch in front of the TV all day? Not that I don't do that some days, but most days is just go and find the next next thing to conquer.
Okay, so I want to take you back to that, because you and I spoke before the show, and I've managed salespeople forever, and it seems like salespeople are never ever happy where they're at. And the message I try to get across to them is, hey, be glad you're not me trying to worry about how you're trying to pay a $48,000 rent factor, and motivate a lot of times the unmotivated. So people like you understand that you are the CEO of Crinity Honda, and I know it's Piazza Honda, but I mean, you are the CEO of your business. You're in control of it. You drive it, and the only thing it looks like to me is that you're selling off of somebody else's floor plan. But other than that, you are in charge of your business. And you and I spoke, and Ollie and I have talked about this, and other great salespeople I know. You don't have any desire to go into management because you are the manager of your business. And can I just tell everybody out there? I know for a fact you guys make more money than everybody, with the exception of the person on the sign. So there is something to staying in sales and just being the best you can be and not chasing titles. Will you speak to that? Please speak to that. Gosh, you'll save a lot of salespeople a lot of heartache.
So the term is manageritis, right? Everybody wants to be manageritis so they can manage everybody's time. To me, I just want to manage my time and the people that, work around me. So people say, do you have assistants? Do you have that? No, but we have 155 employees that work at my store, at the Piazza store. And, I empower them to do their job every day. So, I don't have to be standing over the service writer. I know he's going to take care of my customer. I don't have to be in the finance office. I know that we all have the same exact goals, with the clients 100%. So, I empower them to do their jobs. Being a manager and managing people has never really been one of my goals. And I've seen a lot of people who I thought could have been great salespeople. They were averaging 20, 25 cars and getting to that point where they were building their business. and then they had the desire and the drive to go, be managers. And some of them made out phenomenal. They're great managers, and I dear friends of this day. Some of them still struggle. They're bouncing around store to store to store, to try to get that, move up the manager chain, I guess you would be, general sale or sales manager, GSM, to be a GM one day. And that's great if that's their desire. To me, I was always happy just being a salesperson. It was empowering to me to be able to put a shirt and tie on every day and go to work. I mean, when I was a kid, all I ever wanted to do was be a businessman. I didn't really know what that meant. But I just knew that when I was 5, 6, 7 years old that I just wanted to be a businessman. So to me, I get to go into work every day and be a businessman, and I get to handle people's business. And it's more being a problem solver all day than it is a salesperson. When you get to this level, it's everybody comes in, and I feel like I'm like the Dr. Phil of the car dealership sometimes, because just sit there and try to help everybody out. Psychiatrist, psychologist, to kind of weave them through, what's best for them, best for their family. That they can get a car with.
Well, I follow you on Facebook, and I love to see what you do. I even gave $50 to your toy drive in December.
That was awesome. Thank you so much.
I saw it, and I was just like, oh, I love that, right? And so I didn't even know you at the time. I didn't know your dealership, but I liked what you did. So I can only imagine the kind of excitement and the kind of camaraderie that somebody like you brings to the dealership. So I want you to talk a couple minutes about your whole heart of service and about the community and how that serves you well. Because I think so many salespeople are seen as self-serving car salesmen. They're a scammer. And I'm like, no, I know some damn good ones.
And it's funny, maybe that my general manager years and years ago has been, just drilling into me about, not being, the stereotypical car salesman. We've been fighting the whole, stereotypical sales since I've been, with Piazza Honda, and it kind of molded me into where I'm at today. Because without like you're saying, the community and the relationships that you build inside the community, you can never get to the levels. People are like, how could you sell that many cars? Well, the truth is, I don't really sell that many cars. Everybody sells them for me. I mean, I got all the people in the community that, go see Frank. Frank will take care of you. And, it's not just because I sell all these cars. It's because they know that I'll be able to deliver for them. That I have the confidence in that, we can get the job done and get it done in an efficient manner. But the community, the relationships you build in the community, are the utmost importance. Ali talks about it all the time. We have the same methodology as far as our sales go. It's not run advertisements and do a lot of things. It's more just building from within to get those referrals and to. But you truly have to care, right? So you can't just say, okay, I'm going to go out and I'm going to join this networking group and I'm going to go to church with these people. And people will see through it. They'll see through the phony. And to me, it's to be an entrepreneur means that you have to give back to the community almost as much as they're giving you. So, that's not always monetarily. It's not always, hey, just donating to the, the boys club or putting your name out there. It's actually doing the things that people don't see. It's showing up at some of these events, just shaking hands, just hanging out, get involved in local charities. We just started our own 504 the Delco Group charity. So
I saw that.
The toy drive's been going great and strong for a couple Christmases now, but we want to be able to give back throughout the whole year, not just a couple months a year. So we're really excited about that we're about to launch that. I think we're going to start the end of this month here. You're going to see a lot of that on my page and Facebook and social media everywhere.
So I don't know. I was just out at Barrett Jackson, and I don't know if you saw yesterday, but the first Supra just went for $2.1 million.
People are freaking out, right? Like, why would anybody pay $2 million? It's for charity. Knock it off.
Exactly.
It's great.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Who cares? $2 million to some people is chump change. That's what everybody doesn't realize.
It is. And my dear friend Adam Aarons, who owns Patriot Subaru, he said that it was actually his neighbor who bought the car. Awesome. Yeah, great. I mean, so you look at, people don't realize what we do in the auto industry, and then I don't know if you saw a couple of nights ago at Barrett Jackson, but, there was a race car that went out for $300 and something thousand that all the money went to St. Jude. So, but as an industry, we're extremely charitable. And so I love your marketing efforts. Like I noticed, like on your page, like after somebody buys a car, you have your own step and repeat. That means they stand in front, they take a picture with you. I'm sure that they're putting that picture everywhere.
Well, that's the whole excitement factor, right? So we do this every day. So sometimes we don't realize that this is not, this is that person's experience. You need to make it exciting and fun every single time because, even though they might not say they're excited. It's boiling inside. They're nervous. They're excited. Got the butterflies. I even get excited when I get a car anymore. I'm on my 38th car. I counted them the other day. I'm still excited the night before I'm ready to take my car, pick up my car,
I have to tell you, I think that I might buy, I actually owned one of those Supras back in the day, and I have 2 Toyota dealers that are clients, so they're both going to be to get me into one. But I kind of like that new Supra. Tell me what's hot and new from Honda.
Oh, Honda's killing it right now.
Oh, I know.
The Honda CRV is our number one seller. The Honda Accord. I've never had so much business in the last 19 years that people are either pulling in, trading in an Acura, or saying, "Hey, listen, I'm going to look at the new Mercedes C-Class or this." So we're getting a much higher end clientele, along with keeping and growing our own business, model from within. We're getting these clients that used to be able to or used to want to purchase a car that was $20,000-$30,000 more, coming over giving Honda a shot. And it's like, wow, you get all this for $30,000.
Yeah, Honda's a great brand. I'll tell you. That's Honda and Toyota. Those are the 2 franchises that I'd want to own. Yeah. Okay, absolutely. so as we wrap up this morning, since we're 15 minutes of fierce, I need you, Mr. Frank, to make a Super Bowl prediction. Is it going to be the New England Patriots or the Los Angeles Rams?
Oh, God. As much as Tom Brady, I know Tom Brady. Brady's going to win it. The Patriots are going to win it 100%. I think the Eagles
always win it, don't they?
I think the Eagles were the better. Not last year they didn't. It was Philly, true. Nick Foles. It's my buddy, so no, they don't always win it. But I just heard something on the radio, and it's my biggest fear is Tom Brady wins, he retires, and Nick Foles becomes a New England Patriot quarterback. So that would be my worst fear, my worst nightmare. But New England Patriots probably win. They probably blow them out. I don't think the Rams are that good this year.
I don't know, Anthony out there, and Anthony's saying the Rams, James is saying Toyota. We have such an active, great group out there. Well, I want to thank you for jumping on this early in the morning, sharing your brilliance, sharing your success. That's what it's all about. That's why I did this show, is to bring on the best and the brightest. Because what I have found, Frank, about the best and the brightest is that they're willing to share. That the reason that you guys are so successful is because you want to take other people along for the ride with you. And I think that is absolutely admirable. So I want to wish you continued success in 2019. Tell me what the number is for 2019. Tell me what your forecast is. And then maybe this time next year we'll have you back on.
Well, I'm shooting for 1,600. We're really going to push the pedal to the metal. And we'll see where we end up.
Could break a record, couldn't it?
Yeah, we're not really focused on the record. We're just focused on what's in front of us. So, yeah. But 1,600 is a number I put out there, and I'm going to need a lot of help from the community to get there. So we're going to have to I'm going to have to step my game up so that everybody around me knows that to make sure they send them over to me.
It's interesting, and I'll leave with this. When my team was out trying to break the world sales record in 2012, I went to the community because we had so much on the line to meet Marchione. Yeah. And so I went to the community. I went out on social media, and I just said, I've got this young team. We need to break the world sales record. We're 14 cars short. I literally gave them countdowns for 4 days straight. Yeah. And guess what? They drug them in. And one of my service manager's father was a bigwig with Group 1.
Right.
And he came in and bought a car. And we were not a Group 1 store.
Oh, yeah.
But he came in and bought a car because he wanted us to hit. I'm sure he flipped it the next day because, whatever. But it didn't matter. And so, people fundamentally, they root for you. Your community roots for you. So you just keep doing what you're doing. It's going to be interesting to watch you and my other friend, my 2 friends, the 2 rock stars that I know, see both of you bounce up on 1,600 this year. So anyways, continued success. Thank you so much for getting on and sharing your greatness with us. All right, everybody. I will see you tomorrow morning.